health is much more than just not being sick. It is about feeling good inside your own mind. It helps us cope with the everyday stresses of life. It allows us to work productively and fruitfully. It helps us make contributions to our communities. Mental health involves how we think and how we feel. It also involves how we act and interact with others. Good mental health is important for every single one of us. It is a vital part of our overall well-being at every stage of life. Think of your mental health in the same way you think about your physical health. You need to actively take care of it. It influences how you manage stress and difficult emotions. It shapes the choices you make, big and small. It affects your relationships with your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Mental health is not a static state. It is not fixed. It can change over time, depending on many different factors. We all possess mental health, just as we all possess physical health, and it deserves our attention. Good mental health allows us to unlock our full potential. We can manage our lives effectively. We can build strong and healthy relationships. We can adapt to change and cope with adversity. It is not about being happy all the time, because life naturally includes sadness and stress. Nobody feels cheerful every single moment. Instead, good mental health is about having the tools and the resilience. It is about having the capacity to manage these feelings. It is about bouncing back from life's inevitable difficulties. So, mental health is fundamentally a positive state of being. It is about thriving, not merely surviving the day. It includes our emotional well-being, which means understanding and managing our feelings. It includes our psychological well-being, which relates to our thoughts and self-perception. And it includes our social well-being, which is about our connections with others. These three crucial parts work together. They help us to live a full, meaningful, and satisfying life. Understanding this broader definition is the very first step to supporting and improving it for everyone. Many different things can harm our mental health. These are often called risk factors. Some individuals might be born with a slightly higher risk. This can be due to their genetic makeup passed down through families. However, genes are not the complete story. Far from it. Our life experiences play an incredibly significant role in shaping our mental state. Difficult childhoods, for instance, can cast very long and dark shadows. Experiences like neglect, abuse, or serious adversity in early life can have profound and lasting negative effects. We must understand and acknowledge these early life risks. Big, disruptive changes in life can also be extremely hard to navigate. Losing a person you love is a major emotional shock. Going through a separation or a divorce can be deeply painful. Losing your job, especially unexpectedly, can create immense stress and uncertainty. These kinds of events can shake our fundamental sense of security. They can make us feel lost, vulnerable, or profoundly alone. Chronic long-term stress, perhaps from ongoing work pressures or persistent money worries, also takes a significant toll. It gradually wears down our natural ability to cope over an extended period. Our physical health is very closely and intricately linked to our mental health. If you are living with a long-term physical illness, such as diabetes, arthritis, or chronic pain, it can be incredibly challenging. The daily burden of managing a condition can lead to feelings of sadness, frustration, or anxiety. Similarly, the misuse of substances like drugs or alcohol often makes existing mental health problems worse. It might seem like a temporary escape from pain or worry, but in reality, it frequently creates even more problems in the long run. It can become a deeply damaging and difficult cycle to break. Feeling disconnected from others is a huge and often underestimated risk factor. Loneliness has become a modern epidemic in many societies. We might have hundreds of friends on social media platforms, yet we can still feel deeply, painfully alone in our daily lives. A lack of real, genuine, meaningful human connection is profoundly harmful to our well-being. Facing discrimination, whether based on race, gender, sexuality, or any other characteristic, also hurts people deeply. It makes individuals feel unwelcome, unsafe, and devalued. These broad social factors are incredibly powerful influences on our collective mental health. Stigma is a very big and important word in mental health. It means holding negative and unfair beliefs about something. People often hold these kinds of beliefs about mental illness and those who experience it. This widespread stigma creates a suffocating wall of silence. People who are struggling feel ashamed to talk openly about their difficulties. They worry intensely about being judged by others. They fear being seen as weak, flawed, or fundamentally different. This silence is incredibly dangerous. It directly stops people from reaching out and getting the help they desperately need. Imagine if you had a physically broken leg. You would probably tell someone about it without hesitation. You would almost certainly go to a doctor to get it treated. But when it comes to mental health problems, the situation is often very different. Stigma makes people want to hide their pain and suffering. They might mistakenly believe they are the only ones feeling this way. They might even start to blame themselves for their struggles. This is called self-stigma or internalized stigma. It is like having a constant critical inner voice that repeats all the unfair societal beliefs. This makes the path to recovery much, much harder. Stigma does not just affect individuals in isolation. It has a broad and damaging impact on society as a whole. It often means there is less public funding available for mental health services. It means there is less scientific research into causes and treatments. It means there is less understanding and support from employers, schools, and even sometimes from family. The media can sometimes make this problem worse. They might portray people with mental illness as inherently dangerous or unpredictable. Or they might make insensitive jokes about serious conditions. This only reinforces the harmful and inaccurate stereotypes that exist. We need to actively challenge these damaging portrayals. The words we choose to use matter a great deal. Calling someone crazy, mad, or psycho is deeply hurtful and dismissive. It adds to the weight of the stigma they already face. It makes it even harder for people to feel comfortable being open about their experiences. We need to choose our words much more carefully and thoughtfully. We need to learn to talk about mental health openly, honestly, and respectfully. Breaking the silence that surrounds mental illness is an absolutely crucial step. It helps to create a world where people feel safe enough to seek the support they need and deserve. Just as there are factors that put our mental health at risk, there are also important protective factors. These are the things that help to guard our mental well-being. They help to build our resilience, our ability to cope with life's challenges. Strong, positive social connections are an incredibly powerful shield. Having people in your life who genuinely love and support you makes a huge difference. Friends, family members, and a supportive community can offer comfort during difficult times. They can also offer practical help when we are struggling. Feeling connected to others helps us feel valued and understood. Learning good, healthy coping skills is also absolutely vital for mental protection. Life will always present us with challenges and setbacks. That is unavoidable. Resilience is the capacity to bounce back from these difficulties. We can actively learn effective ways to manage stress and negative emotions. This might be through practices like mindfulness or regular physical exercise. It might be through engaging in creative hobbies that we enjoy. Having healthy outlets and strategies for dealing with difficult emotions is key. It stops problems from feeling overwhelming. It helps us to navigate life's inevitable ups and downs with greater strength. Access to good quality support systems is crucial for mental protection. This includes having access to good quality healthcare when needed. If someone is struggling with their mental health, they need to know where they can turn for help. Easy and timely access to mental health services is very important. This means having enough doctors, therapists, counselors, and other trained professionals. It also means having a safe and stable place to live. Economic security, such as having a steady job and enough money for basic needs, reduces a significant amount of stress. These basic securities are fundamental for mental well-being. A positive sense of self, or healthy self-esteem, also protects our minds. Believing in yourself and your own abilities helps a great deal. Having a sense of purpose or meaning in your life is also very important. This sense of purpose could come from your work, if it feels meaningful. It could come from volunteering your time to help others. It could come from caring for your family or contributing to your community. Feeling like you matter and that your life has inherent value provides a strong foundation for good mental health. A healthy lifestyle, including nutritious food, enough restful sleep, and regular physical activity, also plays a very significant part. Section 5. Nurturing minds, promoting mental health in our communities. We can all play a part in helping to promote good mental health. This important work starts right in our own communities, where we live and interact. Schools are a particularly key place to begin these efforts. We can teach children about their emotions from a very young age. We can equip them with healthy coping skills. Schools have the power to create a genuinely supportive and nurturing environment for all students. They can implement effective anti-bullying programs. They can ensure that students know exactly where to go if they need help or someone to talk to. Early intervention can make an enormous positive difference. Workplaces also have a very significant role to play in mental health promotion. Many adults spend a large proportion of their waking hours at work. A highly stressful, demanding, or unsupportive workplace can seriously harm mental health. Employers can take active steps to promote well-being among their staff. They can offer mental health awareness training for managers and employees. They can provide access to confidential support services, like counseling. Offering flexible working arrangements can also help people to better balance their work and personal life. A mentally healthy workplace is, ultimately, a more productive and positive workplace for everyone. Community centers can serve as vital hubs for connection and social interaction. They can offer a wide range of programs that bring people together. These could be things like art classes, music groups, or sports teams. They could be local gardening clubs or various types of support groups. These kinds of activities help to reduce feelings of loneliness and isolation. They help people to build new skills, discover new interests, and form new friendships. Strong, vibrant communities foster a deep sense of belonging. This feeling of belonging is absolutely essential for maintaining good mental health in the long term. Public awareness campaigns are also very important tools for change. These campaigns can directly challenge the stigma surrounding mental illness. They can educate the general public about mental health issues. They can share inspiring stories of recovery, resilience, and hope. The more we talk openly and honestly about mental health, the more normal and accepted it becomes. This, in turn, encourages more people to seek help when they need it. It helps to create a more compassionate, understanding, and supportive society for everyone. We need to make mental health a regular, open, public conversation. Section 6. Real Stories, Real Hope Mental Health in Action. Let's look at some real examples of how communities can support mental health. In a small town in Canada, a wonderful project started a few years ago. It was called Friendly Fridges. People in the community began leaving spare food in public fridges. This food was available for anyone who needed it, no questions asked. This simple act of sharing did much more than just feed hungry people. It built a stronger sense of community spirit. It helped to reduce the shame often associated with poverty. It showed people in a tangible way that others in their town cared about them. This had a clear positive impact on the mental well-being of many residents, reducing stress and isolation. Think about a school situated in a challenging inner-city area. Many of the students there faced significant trauma and adversity in their home lives. The school decided to introduce a daily mindfulness practice for all students. It was just 10 minutes each morning, a time for quiet reflection. After a while, teachers noticed a really big change in the school environment. Students seemed calmer and were able to focus better in class. There were noticeably fewer fights and conflicts in the playground. The students were learning practical skills to manage their anxieties and difficult emotions. This shows how relatively small changes within institutions can have a big, positive impact on young minds. There was a company that noticed very high levels of stress among its employees. Many people were taking frequent sick days, and morale was low. The company decided it needed to act. They introduced a new policy of mental health days. Employees could take these days off when they felt they needed to, with no detailed explanation required. The company also started offering workshops on stress management and resilience building. Interestingly, overall productivity actually went up. Employees reported feeling more valued, understood, and supported by their employer. This example clearly shows that investing in mental health is good for business as well as for people. Peer support groups offer another powerful and inspiring example of mental health in action. These groups bring together people who have shared lived experiences. For instance, someone who is recovering from an addiction can talk openly with others who are on the same difficult journey. A new mother feeling overwhelmed and isolated can find understanding and empathy from other new parents. Sharing personal stories and offering mutual support in a safe, non-judgmental space is incredibly healing. It directly breaks down feelings of isolation and shame. It powerfully shows people that they are not alone in their struggles. These groups truly embody the profound power of human connection. Section 7. The deep need, why connection is key. Humans are fundamentally wired for connection with other humans. We are, at our core, social animals. For many thousands of years, our ancestors lived in close-knit tribes and small communities. They relied deeply on each other for safety, for food, and for overall survival. Our brains actually evolved over these millennia to need that sense of social connection. When we are disconnected from others, we suffer. Loneliness is not just a bad or unpleasant feeling. It is a genuinely dangerous state for our minds and for our bodies. Scientific research suggests it can be as harmful to our physical health as smoking cigarettes or being obese. Modern life, in many ways, often pushes us further apart from each other. We tend to live in smaller, more isolated family units than in the past. We move more frequently for work or education, leaving established networks behind. We spend increasing amounts of our time on social media platforms. But these online interactions are often not the same as real-life deep connection. A like on a photograph is not the same as a warm hug. A short comment under a post is not a substitute for a deep, meaningful conversation. We have a profound biological need for genuine face-to-face relationships. We need to feel truly seen, heard, and understood by others. Many different aspects of our contemporary society can inadvertently make us feel more isolated. Think about the design of some of our cities and towns. They are often built primarily for cars and efficient transport, not for people to easily meet and interact spontaneously. Think about jobs that feel insecure, meaningless, or overly competitive. They often don't provide us with a strong sense of belonging or shared purpose. Think also about the constant pressure in modern culture to be always busy, always productive, always striving for more. This relentless pace can leave very little time or energy for nurturing deep, authentic relationships. These are systemic issues that impact our collective mental health. So how do we begin to rebuild these vital lost connections? We need to consciously create more opportunities for people to come together in meaningful ways. This could be through supporting and participating in local community projects. It could be through joining groups based on shared hobbies or interests. It means actively choosing to value cooperation and mutual support over constant competition. It means deliberately making time in our busy schedules for the important people in our lives. It means learning to listen to each other with genuine empathy and without judgment. Rebuilding these connections is fundamental to improving mental health on a large societal scale. Section 8. Beyond the pill. Understanding our distress. For a very long time, we have predominantly talked about mental health problems in a rather narrow way. We have focused heavily on the idea of chemical imbalances in the brain. Consequently, we have often looked primarily for purely medical solutions, such as prescription medications or pills. These medications can certainly be helpful and even life-saving for some people. They can offer significant relief from distressing symptoms. But they are rarely the whole story, and they are not a magic cure. They often do not fully address the underlying root causes of a person's distress. We urgently need a broader and more holistic understanding. Think about the experience of feeling very sad or intensely anxious for a prolonged period. Often these powerful emotions are actually quite understandable responses. They are natural human reactions to what is happening in our lives and in our environment. If you unexpectedly lose your job and face financial hardship, it is natural to feel down or worried. If you are trapped in an abusive relationship, it is entirely natural to feel anxious and fearful. Our emotional pain is frequently a signal. It is our mind's way of telling us that something is seriously wrong in our external circumstances or our internal experiences. So, if someone is feeling deeply depressed, we should not just ask what is wrong with their brain chemistry. We should also ask, what is happening in their life that is making them depressed? Are they profoundly lonely and isolated? Do they have overwhelming financial worries or debt? Are they lacking a sense of meaning or purpose in their work or daily life? Addressing these significant life problems is absolutely crucial for genuine healing. This is not to say that biology and brain chemistry play no role at all, but social, economic, and environmental factors are hugely important and often overlooked contributors to our distress. We need to look at the complete picture of a person's life. This broader understanding means that we need more than just medication to help people. We need social solutions and community-based interventions. We need to help people find and build genuine connections with others. We need to support them in discovering a sense of purpose and meaning. We need to collectively address societal issues like poverty, inequality, and discrimination. We need to create communities and environments that actively support and nurture well-being for all their members. This more comprehensive approach does not dismiss individual suffering. Instead, it takes that suffering very seriously. It looks for the deeper causes and promotes more holistic, lasting solutions. Section 9. A brighter future, the path to mental wellness. Our mental health is an incredibly important and precious aspect of our lives. It affects every single part of our existence, from our thoughts to our actions. It is absolutely just as important as our physical health, and the two are deeply intertwined. We have seen throughout this discussion that many different factors can harm our mental well-being. But encouragingly, we also know much more now about what can protect and strengthen it. We understand with increasing clarity that meaningful connection and a sense of purpose are vital ingredients. We also recognize that damaging stigma creates a harmful and unnecessary silence. It is truly time to bring mental health fully out of the shadows. Promoting mental well-being is a responsibility that falls on all of us. It is not just a job for doctors, psychologists, or therapists alone. Governments have a crucial role to play. They need to adequately invest in accessible mental health services for everyone. They need to create and implement policies that actively support good mental health across society. Schools and workplaces must strive to be safe, inclusive, and supportive environments. Our local communities need to find ways to foster connection, belonging, and mutual support among residents. And each one of us can play a part in our daily lives through our own actions and attitudes. We can actively challenge stigma whenever and wherever we encounter it. We can make an effort to listen with genuine empathy and without judgment to friends, family, or colleagues who are struggling. We can take the initiative to educate ourselves further about mental health and mental illness. We can use our voices to advocate for better support systems and more resources in our communities. Even seemingly small individual actions can collectively create very big and positive changes over time. By talking openly, honestly, and compassionately about mental health, we can help to create a culture of greater understanding and acceptance. We can make it easier for people to ask for help without fear. The journey towards better mental health for everyone in society is an ongoing one. There is still much work to be done, but there is also significant reason for hope and optimism. More people are talking about mental health now than ever before in history. There is a steadily growing awareness and understanding of its fundamental importance to human flourishing. By working together, with shared commitment and compassion, we can build a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive mentally and emotionally. A future where mental well-being is truly valued, actively supported, and readily accessible to all, regardless of their background. This is a future that is profoundly worth striving for.